Oh, good morning, Steve. What are you up
Hey,
to?
good morning.
So, we're going to goof off a little bit, let people get in here, drink a little coffee. We are not sponsored by anything that you see in here. We just like these places.
It's fine.
It's exactly. We are sponsored by zero people in here, but it's all right. We wanted to bring to you guys today what we like to call the Turkey Gizzard. So a little play on words there. We've got a few things going on, but first, before we get into the news, Steve, how was your Monday? What'd you get into?
Well, I recovered from church service Sunday. And,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, had a few things I had to catch up, bars to put out.
Oh my gosh.
But
Speaking of that, speaking of things over the weekend, kind of set on fire or something caught fire. Have you heard that song by Anthony Oliver? That "Rich Men North of Richmond" song?
I have.
I went to a few things like a birthday party and something, and literally there was about like over that weekend I didn't have 4 or 5 people come up to me and say, "Have you heard this song? Have you heard this fella?" My good, isn't that? What do you think about that?
You know, it's the first thing I've seen in a long, long time that people are uniting.
They are. Yep.
I mean, it's not a particular political party,
Mm-hmm.
but it's what the rich man from north of Richmond
Right.
and the White House and the
Politicians.
politicians need to be doing.
Exactly. Good morning, Rachel. How are you, friend?
Hey,
Love
Rachel.
you to death. But yeah.
Really, I mean that's probably, in my opinion, the first time I've seen our country unite.
Yes. Over. You know, I it. I feel like our art and culture and all that has just been led by a progressive left leaning thing, and it's just nice to have someone that I think he's a factory worker. Or I was doing a little research. He's a factory worker, and I think he's sold like his house or something like that. Moved up to West Virginia. He's on living on 90 acres, just doing his thing. And I remember before he wrote that song and whatnot, he had been talking on his Instagrams or TikToks, whatever they got, and he was talking about how his grandfather lived on dirt floors and all this, and we think we have to live a certain way. And he's like, man, you're not. One of his other songs is, "You're not just born to pay bills and die." Like that's not what we're here for. And it's just, man, it's speaking to a lot of people. It's speaking to a lot of people.
I felt, yes, what I was doing, but I felt compelled to look at the scriptures
Mm-hmm.
and kind of take some of what he said in my message coming Sunday.
Right. Okay. So what's the message coming Sunday?
Well, I kind of want to keep it pretty much a secret, but
Not let the cat out of the bag.
No. Sometimes a person looks at the title. I mean, like a newspaper. A lot of times people look at the title and not read the article,
Right.
and not look at what the print is. And but I seen I did have an opportunity. I like, because we're on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have probably as many subscribers as we got.
Exactly. No, he didn't have very many.
He didn't have. I mean, he would just get basically. He said in that Sunday where he went in North Carolina,
Yeah.
the farmers market. He said that last time I was here back in June, there's 20 people here,
Yep.
and he said, but he read the Psalm 37,
Yes.
which he used from 12th verse to the 20th verse, I think. 12
It
or
was
20.
it was beautiful.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity looking at, when things pop up like that, when you're watching YouTube, then it directs to other channels, and they was different from from people that did rap and to people that did more pop and pop rock and wasn't country or directional.
Right.
They would listen to the song and they would just the lyrics, the meaning behind it.
Oh my gosh. Right.
It just it rings.
It really does.
And but I'd like to hear some of the people out there this week give us a feedback on some of that thing.
Absolutely.
And the reason, I want to kind of share why we're doing this.
Okay.
Because growing up, newspaper was important
Okay.
to the family. I mean, everybody. My mom, 95-year-old, she still gets paper. She don't have internet. She don't have nothing like that. She still gets paper.
Right.
But the print and sitting down at the table, and maybe I hope we get to maybe do that sometime. We sit at the table and be able to. I remember wanting to get sports paper. I got a little older from Dad, but Dad, he had to wait in line. Dad would take the paper. He'd look at the here, and then he got through that. He folded it back and he set it there. Then you could get that. And if he got through the funnies, you get the funny paper. And that's what I liked was the funnies and the sports page. But it was something everybody could share in. And it told. Like I looked over and it said, well, obituaries. That's what Mom does today. She looks to see if somebody she knows still living that died.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
And so I said, at least I'm not in the obituary.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I understand that. So, I'm going to shift gears. Another news story that I found very interesting and was Michael Orr. I'm going to read this from, and this is from USA Today by Lucas Fenton and Nick Gray. Michael Orr of The Blind Side. Narrative, adoption was a hoax. The whole thing was a hoax. Let's read this for a second. Former Briarcrest Christian, Ole Miss, and NFL star Michael Orr filed a petition in Shelby County Probate Court Monday seeking to end the conservatorship of his name and financial dealings with the family that helped make his life story a movie blockbuster hit. The petition also clarified his adoption by the family never happened. How does that hit you when you hear that?
Well, first of all, he should have come to Tennessee anyhow.
Okay.
He was supposed to come to Tennessee.
Okay.
Homer was in real life. He was leading and recruiting of him, and of course they're big Ole Miss fans, and they did not want him going there. They graduated from there, and of course if you watch the movie, I think it had a little bit of the truth in there. They kind of talked about they won't go there. So they got people buried in the stadium on the field, and but anyhow, that right there is going to be interesting to see how that comes, because number one, the movie was. Did he get anything royalty?
That's the thing. Did they take all the money from him? Could you imagine? It was an Oscar. It was an Oscar. Hold on. The petition asked a judge to grant an order to end the conservatorship that Sean and Leanne Toohey, Toohey had signed in 2004. It also requests the court prevent the Tooheys from using his name, image, and likeness, that the court sanctioned them, and force the family to pay Orr all the money that should have been his, plus interest that includes the royalties from the 2009 Oscar-winning movie The Blind Side. So, can I say something here? It sounds like they found a poor black boy from the hood that was good at football, and they said, well, we're going to use him and make this story and do all this, and not necessarily adopt him, but we'll have him in our house, and we'll do this and we'll do that, and we'll make a whole lot of money off of him, and it'll be great. And I'm sorry, that's terrible. If that's the truth, that's terrible.
I hope this is not true.
I mean,
really, because what it does, it gives a stereotype both ways. Which I hope this is not true.
I know, and I hate it.
And so things you see that people. I mean, this is the world we're living in right now.
I know, and it is, and it makes me mad because it's like you're taking advantage of a poor kid in a bad situation, and then you're just using them. You're just using them, and they could say, "Oh, we made something of them and all that." It's like, no, you used them.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Especially the way the movie portrayed it.
Oh yeah.
And if that, I mean, it really and truly portrayed it in a way that I thought I looked at him as heroes. I mean, even though he didn't go to Tennessee, which at the time I was pulling for him to come to Tennessee, I had followed him in recruiting at that time when he was there.
Listen to this. Speaking to Marshall Ramsey of Mississippi Public Broadcasting on Monday before the news of the petition broke, others said he was grateful for the Twillow family for letting me stay his senior year. Or also explained that he found implications from the blind side that had achieved nothing on the football, that he had achieved nothing on the football field. He was uneducated and struggled socially before the Tuohys took him in to be damaging. Basically, he's like, he didn't like the fact that they said he was just uneducated, he didn't know how to play football. It's like, that's not necessarily true. And it's like, it was just, that, I just hate that. I hate that. I hate that for Michael Orr, that he felt like he'd been used and all that. And, man, that's just messed up.
Well, I'm hoping that our subscribers, people that view this, will be able to give us feedback, because they may know, as Paul Harvey said, the rest of the story.
Yeah, that's right. Rachel says they took advantage of him, and then Hollywood did. Yeah, it sure looks like that, Rachel.
That's what appears at this moment in time.
Absolutely. All right. So what else? So changing gears, what other story you got?
Well, I've seen in one of these papers, I think you got it. It's got the sheriff.
Oh, the sheriff. So let's take a look, see-poo. Let's see this.
I believe it's on that front page.
Let's see.
He was on the front page.
Front page.
Yeah, we got two different papers here.
We do have two different papers. This is the first Gizzard, so.
Yeah, we'll get better. In fact, if somebody out there can print us one, we'd love it.
Love it. Exactly. Yeah. All right. This story is from Keenan Thomas of the Knoxville News Sentinel. Professor Sheriff Peyton Manning joins UT facility. What do you think about this?
I was talking to my buddy Seth Stokes yesterday, and I was talking to him about how far that I'd come. Because in 2016, I couldn't even turn a computer on.
Right.
I mean, I'm serious about it. I had a flip phone. I didn't have an iPhone. I didn't know how to use one. I listened to radio, when I listened to sports talks and stuff, and had a aluminum foil on it,
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first got on Twitter, Peyton was in his life with the Broncos, and they was in playoffs. They was in the AFC NFC playoffs, and so Peyton was playing. The winner of that game would go to the Super Bowl.
Right. Winner of that game goes to Super Bowl.
Right. So I'm following. I don't have another laptop, but I'm on the computer. I learned to do that, and I was doing Twitter and watching the game.
Yeah.
Well, they got to talking about Peyton being the GOAT. Now, Seth was online when I called in. I called in Swain, Seth and Swain, and was so excited about being on Twitter and so excited about.
Yeah.
And I said, they called him a GOAT. And I said, boy, I give him what for on ball Twitter. I mean, I told him what it was, I mean, I was excited about being part of Twitter. And so.
So you were mad at them for calling him a GOAT?
Yeah, and I heard the cheer fall, and that was Swain fell plumb out of the chair, and Seth he tried to hold his composure and was laughing. He said, Steve, so That's compliment. See, it's
He's
great.
the
It's
small time. And
Yeah.
you thought they were
There we
calling the go. Oh my god.
Yeah, but since then.
Since then, you've gotten a little bit more
Oh
tech
yeah,
savvy.
I mean, I'm in this culture here.
Right, we've got contrary to popular, we've actually got Steve an iPhone. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there with Steve. My God, I can see you getting angry at all of them.
Well, before we get to the sheriff here, right,
Yeah.
guys, kind of while we're doing this,
Mm-hmm.
tell them about our song you have.
Oh my gosh! So I was playing around. Everybody's heard of that the new AI stuff, artificial intelligence, and I was playing around with it, and I asked AI to write us a little stupid little song, and it wrote us a song. And I sent it to Steve, and Steve's like, "Oh, that's pretty good, I guess." Who wrote that? I said AI, and he's like, "Well, tell your buddy, tell your buddy it's okay. Can you write some music for it?" So we're getting Steve up on technology. We're getting there.
I didn't know who AI.
You didn't know who AI was.
I even asked you how old Dow Jones
How old
was.
is Dow Jones? So
Yeah.
we'll have to work on that.
Well,
But so reading this, the professor sheriff. So it says, you read that right. Tennessee football legend Peyton Manning is going to help teach at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville this fall. The College of Communication and Information has appointed the entrepreneur and former Vol quarterback as a professor of practice, given his experience and expertise in media. He'll be a guest expert in class that covers leadership and communication, public speaking, sports reporting, and video production. Wow, we could use his help right here.
Absolutely.
He will be teaching in person and without pay in true volunteer spirit. It's not been announced if he'll teach beyond this academic year. Manning graduated from UT in 1997 with a degree in speech communication, so it's a homecoming for him. My time as a student in the College of Communication and Information was a foundational experience during which I learned critical skills and messaging techniques that I continue to put to use almost daily. Manning told UT News, I look forward to working with the college's talented facility and directly communicating with them. Well, look at that, that's pretty cool.
Omaha.
That's how does he get to walk in there?
I hope he don't call somebody to fail.
Oh, gosh.
You know.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. So we got that. So what else we got in the newspaper today? Unfortunately going to shift gears into something a little bit more serious. Talk to me about this. What's going on here?
That wildfire or the fires, F-I-R-E.
F-R-E. Yeah.
Mars, F-A-R-E.
Mm-hmm.
In Hawaii is terrible.
Yeah.
And we need to remember those people in prayers. I don't really understand what caused the fires.
I don't either. I have lots of thoughts, and I'll get into the weeds if you want to, but here's my thing. I know who knows what type of things governments have, governments don't have, all that stuff. And it's just real convenient to say, all these wildfires in Hawaii, all these wildfires in Canada, all these here. Oh, by the way, we need to reduce the carbon. We need you to not eat so much meat. We need you to not drive so much gas vehicles. It's just real convenient. Now you can get real mad at me. Yeah, right. It is very suspicious. It's just real convenient that this happens. And have you seen? There's pictures of this, and you've got trees. You've got trees in a house that's untouched. And everything around it is absolutely burnt to a crisp. And I mean burnt to a crisp. Melted.
Mm-hmm.
Cars are melted. And this just may be me. And, some firemen will be like, oh, that's totally normal. I don't think so. I don't know, Steve.
Well, I seen it, which I thought was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
If it was real. But there was a church and the trees all around it wasn't even touched. And there's so much, and the reason, the pitiful thing about this is, we was talking about the rich men from north of Richmond earlier in our song. Well, that goes in. We have not had any from the White House or anything getting there and reporting or trying to get information.
Yeah.
I ain't seeing nothing in that regard. I mean, they got people that's in the ocean escaped and dead in the ocean. They don't have any idea how many. Instead, at least be over there trying to get the bodies up.
That's wild. I just don't understand what's going on there, man.
I thought, well, really and truly, I'll give you my first thought. I thought it was a volcano. I mean, that was my first thought.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt like sooner or later that's going to
Yeah,
happen.
living on islands created volcanoes, you're gonna have a volcano. It just
I mean, it's kind of like sitting around a big forest fire waiting for it to happen. But
So,
that was just my thought process.
Yeah. Rachel says it makes no sense. You're right. It don't make any sense. I just
No.
don't understand it. Well,
What are we on the morning song?
I think that's it for our stories today, guys. This was the first edition of the Turkey Gizzard. Let us know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, share. We're doing this on Twitter and YouTube, so follow us all there, and we're just going to try to keep it up. Try to do this Tuesdays, the Tuesday Turkey Gizzard.
And be looking for our midway videos.
Yep, I'm gonna try to crank out some midway videos. Midway videos are gonna be more on hunting, fishing, survival, all that stuff. That's gonna be more of a production thing. And then on Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays, depending on where we're at, we're gonna do the Tennessee tailgate from the tailgate.
Off the tailgate.
Say off the tailgate, and we'll talk about sports and kind of have a little bit more fun conversations there.
But I hope you guys enjoying this.
We do.
I mean, I'm getting educated.
Hey, I'm getting
I'm back to reading the papers.
Hey, shoot, I am too. I don't think, how many of us have read the paper? So we're working on it. We're bringing the news stories to you from our opinions on things.
And one thing about this, we'll have a sports page to look at for Friday.
Absolutely. Guys, we love you. For T-Man, this is T-Carp. Y'all be good.